Okay, so this drone tag BS doesn't come with instructions, doesn't come with a plug. They do give you 2 extra antennas that they don't tell you you're going to get when you buy the drone tag. You actually get 2 small antennas, so you don't need to buy yourself an antenna if you're just going to try to comply, barely have a module, don't give a fuck if it doesn't go far. That's kind of what I should have did, because I don't care if it goes far, I'm just trying to comply. So anyways, I bought antenna with it because I didn't know it came with antenna. It doesn't come with the instructions, and then don't tell you anything, and you don't get any plugs or nothing. You literally get the module and you buy the module and some antennas that they don't tell you about. So that's why that's there. But I found out from going on Google and typing in, what did I type in? I don't want to lose my page. I went to Google and I typed drone tag broadcast RID module how to install, and I clicked on an introduction from drone tag, and then I clicked on the drone tag BS, and it took me here, and then you read it and they tell you, you know, that is a UART plug, which it looked like. This is a battery connector. I don't know what that middle plug is, maybe a balance lead, I don't know, they don't tell you. I saw the back and I almost used the back, but it says plates are for internal use only, do not use. I don't know what that means, but okay. Internal use, I can, if I put this inside my drone, it's internally inside, what? Yeah, so yeah, don't use those. It just says don't use. Reading the stuff, this is a power supply because that's what this plug is meant for, and this is your UART, which everybody knows you have a TX and an RX and then a power ground. So you don't want to plug your battery in if you buy theirs and then plug it in your UART and power it, because in the thing it says do not power them both, because you'll screw it up. I'm just going through this quickly. So yeah, that's what I was looking at, and I was like, well, this is still not telling me how to install it. And I started going through here, reading some of this stuff, and it still didn't make any damn sense to me. Fuck, I gotta click how to attach to drone. That's what I was looking at, and then it tells you about some adhesive, and it didn't really make no sense. Was I under specification? Oh, I was under power source installation, I think. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. So to be more specific, how I said this is a plug, this is a plug. This is your UART plug that has power supply, and this is just strictly a power supply. Right here it says do not use bulb, you know, blah blah blah. Make sure your power doesn't drop below that or over that. For your UART side, it tells you the pinout. 1 is your power, 2 is your RX, 3 is TX, and FAR 14 is ground. I don't know why they couldn't have just printed this out and gave it to it in there. That would have helped a lot, instead of trying to get pissed off and type in multiple things on Google to find this. They should have had a link on their website. Or I'm just stupid and didn't see it. Anyways, so for your right plug, this is the main plug we're going to be using, because they don't offer the option yet, as far as I know from reading, the UART way. The UART way, it says it's an option they're going to allow later in the future for beta flight, and I forget who else to use it. So I don't know if it'll work. I don't really fucking care. I'm not going to plug it in until somebody else does it. My interest is powering it up, making the app work so people can see my shit legally, and yeah, I'm complying. So if we use the battery plug on the right side, it says 1 is power, and then 2 is a reserved green, reserved for S-Bus, S support. Huh. I wonder what that would be for. And then 3 is ground. That's all I care about, is ground and power. Boom, it's powered up. Looks like they're gonna make that powered up for like plugging into a Spectrum receiver or something, I think. And if it's powered up and it's going S-Bus, it can send telemetry more likely. I'm guessing. But yeah, this is where I'm at so far. Reading a whole bunch of stuff, at least know how to power it up. So if I can power it up and it turns on, that's all I care about. And then it's got a GPS and shows its position and height and all that, and where I took off from. I don't care if it's attached to my drone, and right now it doesn't look like they offer it, because when I was reading it said sorry, this is a whole bunch of gibberish. I know I'm not talking, showing, I'm just clicking. But you're gonna need to go through drone tag in the help zone and do this. But so far, what they're talking about, where is it? Somewhere here, it's talking about how the UARTs are not able to use yet. It's gonna be a later update that it'll be compatible with Betaflight and other stuffs. Yeah, I'll show you guys when I find the link. Okay, so I read two different things, but so far right here it says the GNS input to Betaflight. If you're using Betaflight controller, you can use the drone tag BSS GNSS input for telemetry and GPS rescue. Right there it says you can. Okay, so operating as telemetry modules for Futaba, Spectrum, etc. This feature is currently in development, so they're making firmware if you're going to try to use the whole power plug S-Bus thing. I knew that, I thought that. I'm like, what would you use S-Bus for? And then the flight data logging to internal flash memory, that feature is currently in development. So some of this stuff, when you plug it in, it's just not going to work right. But you could at least take the UART if you wanted to and just power it up from the UART and then use this as your GPS, because you wouldn't want to have two GPSs. I think I fucked it up. But you would just totally take out your GPS and plug that into your GPS and it would power on. Wow, okay, that's a simple way of fucking saying it. Hey, unplug your normal GPS and plug this one in instead. Or you can just plug your battery in and not attach it if you already have something set up, which is more or less what I'm going to do, because then it bounces around. I mean, all you do is plug and play if it just plugs into the GPS. The fuck? That's all you have to say is plug your GPS into there. If you already have a GPS installed and you're on the M10 chipset, what does it say? The device uses a U-Blox M10 chipset, so that's what I want to find out. Otherwise, you just change what you're using. Because this uses a U-Blox 10. I'm jibber-jabbering. Alright, so I finally figured it out with no help or no instructions. So, when you get your RID module thing, it's going to come in a little package like this. And it's going to be your little module without any of that shit on there looking like that. You're going to get two little antennas and little packages like this that you didn't order. It's those guys. They're going to give you one for the GNSS and one for your Bluetooth. Make sure you put the right one on the right one because they're labeled UFL for the Bluetooth and GNS for the GPS. Anyways, you get it with your BS, your drone tag BS. They come with it, even though they say you don't get one. They come with one miraculously in the package. Yeah, but I bought an antenna because they said you had to have one, and the one I wanted was one of one and one of the other, and they were sold out, so I had to buy the expensive one where it's one built into two. Anyways, I got that because I had to. I guess I didn't. They don't give you this wire. This is just a wire I had left over from one of my GPSs that I had bought, and I just didn't need the wire because I already had the wire. Or I cut it because you can see how you can get two out of them if you don't, you end up using the end. But anyways, I had a wire from my GPS. I repinned it so that the pins on my wiring for this little UART plug matches theirs. You know, red being the first one. I really don't care if the middle TX or RX match because they say green should be RX. I mean, if I really want to, I could just pull it out. As long as my power and ground work and I have a diagram, I always know that pin 2 would be my RX and RX would go to TX, and then pin 3 is your TX, which would go to your RX. So this is kind of probably how I'm going to install it. I might just take the GPS off one of my drones and just run it like this. Because that's the easiest way, is just boop, plug it in, it's powered up, and make sure that my drone is using U-Blox, yeah, and it would work. They say that it's working right now, just not for Spectrum and the other shit for the S-Bus way through that one. Yeah, so I'm just debating, do I want to run it like this and totally remove my GPS off my plane I mean, I don't like adding more stuff to something that already works. The GPS on my plane works very well. I'm wondering if I could just power it up just from these. Just power it up. And just allow it to use its own power just to the app so that I'm just compliant. I don't care if it's plugged into my plane right now. I want to see that it works and how well first before I rely on that for my GPS. That's how I feel about that. I don't feel confident on relying on this for my fucking come home. Only reason why I'm using this is so that I'm abiding to the law. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever use it for my GPS unless I'm making a lightweight plane and I trust this shit. Which I don't trust it yet. I have not used it. But from their diagram, it shows what's on this chip, sorry. It showed, where's the chip? Specification, it showed, sorry. I was looking at some of this stuff on here. Oh, yeah, it's got a barometer and RGB light. Yeah, I mean, it's got a built-in GPS if it's got to have the GNSS antenna. So, yeah. I just don't know if I want to use it for my GPS yet. I'm being a bitch. They're using new things, I'm always skeptical, but that'd be the easiest way, is just to plug this in and use it like a GPS, because that's what it is. Just with Bluetooth. Huh. Okay, so after me bitching and looking on their website, I found some stuff, and I'll clip the stuff in there, but it is a lot easier. It's just if you just get that in the package like how I showed it, it's fucking confusing because you don't know what plug is what, and on their website it does break it down. This is for your battery side. I think it goes positive, negative, and in the middle it's like S-bus. It's not used yet. They're going to update the firmware, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be for like Spectrum and other receivers where you can just plug it into the receiver for power and then talk through S-bus for like telemetry and stuff like that, and still be compliant and get GPS through your controller. This is for using UARTs, so this is your power. I forget if it's talk receive. I'd look back on the website, and then ground. So what I mostly wanted to make sure I had power ground right. I had to repin this. Plug out, you know, pin UART plug. I'm going to just take off my GPS on my plane right here because I already know what power ground UART blah 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 is. I'm gonna put power ground, you know, I just disconnected it because they're female to male plugs. Right now I'm on my ground plug, so I'm gonna disconnect power ground, you know, plug up power ground, see if the thing just turns on and then functions, because all it needs is power and ground. And then if it's working right, then I'll take the TX and the RX, and then I'll plug it into my drone and start letting iNav get the GPS coordinates. I just want to see if this works, because if this is working, then I don't mind, you know, attaching it fully. I just want this to power up, and the safest way to get power is from my drone, because yeah, that's gonna give me the power. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm plugging it into there. Pretty much just pulled out. I mean, I could have just pinned this, you know, power ground, and then TX RX, but I don't want to do that. This plugs straight into my GPS. That's right there. I just want the plugs. So I'm pretending as if I am going to use it. I'm going to plug in power ground, TX RX, and turn the drone on, and then watch it tell me if there's satellites in my headset. Yeah, and then I already got the app installed on my phone, so far so good. But you do need to have some stuff. You do need to have an old GPS plug, or if you already have a GPS on your drone, which you more than likely will if you're doing this shit, your GPS plug will work. You just need to make sure that the wires are the same as theirs. It's like goes power, TX, RX, some shit, and then ground. So it's power, ground, or the first and last. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So if you have a drone with GPS, just unplug the GPS, make sure the pinouts are the same, and it's the same plug, and you can just plug it in through this side. You don't need to buy the battery. Yeah, that's don't know why they didn't tell you that. You just need to take out your old UART plug and plug it in and make sure the power is the same. Plug and play. It is plug and play.